always the most bustling of American cities, leaps ahead in a frenzy of building.
The Windy City. The poet Carl Sandburg called Chicago the city of big shoulders. It's sometimes referred to as the city that works, and also the second city. Actually, it's the third largest city in the United States after New York and Los Angeles. French explorers came in the 17th century and built trading posts. It became a hub for business, commerce, and famously in the 1920s for Al Capone and his gangsters during Prohibition. Chicago survived Capone as it had survived a devastating fire in the late 19th century. This water tower was the only building to survive the disaster. Chicago rose from the ashes to become an architectural wonder, featuring buildings by some of the great architects of the world. It's a city made up of immigrants from all across Europe, Ireland, Germany, Italy, Poland, Eastern Europe, and later from Central and South America, Africa, and now from Asia. The combination giving Chicago a truly cosmopolitan feel. Currently, there are just under 3 million people living in the Windy City. It was Mayor Daley's father who instituted the Sister Cities program in 1956. We asked Chicago's current mayor, Richard M. Daley, to tell us about the Sister Cities program.
Well, the Sister Cities program is all about people to people from a community such as ours. And the city of Chicago has been built by immigrants around the world in the past, present, and the future. And so what it really is people getting together to understand from whence they come from and have a relationship between two cities and basically their country and our country. And I really believe the exchanges that we have, they don't realize we're a melting pot. Very few countries are melting pots. Very few countries are only identified into racial, ethnic, or religious groups. And that's how, but America is really different. We have people from all persuasions, every religious persuasion, every ethnic and racial persuasion right here in this country. So it's really unique. The rest of the country, the world doesn't understand this. It's unique to them. And so it's very hard for them to see what America is. Some way they think it's completely different, but they have to see the faces of people. They have to see their families. And if you go over the Millennium Park, you'll see portraits of Chicago's history.
Chicago recently revitalized its lakefront, creating a spectacular new park. Dedicated by Mayor Daley at the center of New Millennium Park is a bandshell designed by renowned architect Frank Gehry. Gehry has brought his usual blend of humor and stunning design to light up a lakefront that has completely revitalized downtown Chicago. We asked people on the street what they could tell us about their sister city, Casablanca.
I've been to lots of cities, but I haven't been to Morocco, so I'm kind of out on that comparison.
That's in Africa, right? Really, I don't too much know about it. I know it's in Africa because I heard about it in Africa.
Right. Do I know anything about Casablanca? Very little. I've never been there. I did see the movie.
It's great. I'm not quite sure about Casablanca, Morocco, but it's a great word, and I like the way it sounds. So.
What do I know about Morocco? I hear the cuisine is excellent over there.
Oh my God, I've never been. Never been. Don't know a thing about it.
That's really far from here. Why would people in Chicago know what it's like in Morocco?
Since many didn't know anything about their sister city, we decided to find out for ourselves. Casablanca's nickname is the White City. It's the largest city in Morocco and the fourth largest city in Africa. Like Chicago, Casablanca is a city of immigrants, yet many came by force. It was invaded by the Phoenicians, then Romans, then the Arab tribes, later by the Portuguese, Spanish, and finally colonized by the French. It was granted its independence in 1956. Casablanca was originally known as Anfa and later as Dar el Beida, which means White House in Arabic. Currently, the population of Casablanca is about 1 million more than its sister city of Chicago, just under 4 million. What most Americans don't know is that Morocco was the first nation to recognize the new United States as a country. President George Washington sent emissaries and letters to the Sultan, and in 1787 they helped legitimize the new country by recognizing it. The current U.S. ambassador to Morocco is from California, Thomas T. Riley. We interviewed the ambassador in the famous Villa Mirador, a site that played a key role in the World War II conference between Roosevelt and Churchill.
Morocco was the first country to recognize the United States, our early young nation, and the Sultan sent a letter to George Washington and welcomed this new independent nation and offered his assistance. They do seem to get along together very well culturally. I think there's a real acceptance in Morocco. I think that Moroccans pride themselves in being very open to new ideas, very open to different cultures, very open to different religions, and they really are very proud of this.
Like Chicago, Casablanca also has a mayor. Recently elected, the mayor of Casablanca, Mohammed Sajid, is from a small town in southern Morocco, where he went from governing a town of 4,000 to a town of over 4 million.
Quand on compare la distance qu'il y a aujourd'hui entre Chicago et Casablanca, et quand on constate aujourd'hui l'implication de toutes ces associations, de toute cette société civile aujourd'hui dans les actions concrètes, on ramène les relations à autre chose que ce que nous avons d'habitude d'entendre dans les médias. Aujourd'hui, quand on nous parle de l'Amérique, quand on nous parle de... C'est avec d'autres yeux que nous découvrons aujourd'hui ces villes avec lesquelles nous avons un jumelage aussi intense que Chicago. Et c'est un rapprochement magnifique entre les populations.
We asked people on the street what they could tell us about their sister city of Chicago.
Yes, زوينة. زوينة وبلاصة نيتها بنادم كيمشي لها حيت كيعجبهم بزاف. لا.
مدينة جميلة، مدينة راقية.
I have no idea about Chicago. I know that it is a part of America, a great part of America, but I have never been there.
شيكاغو يعني مدينة نسمع لها مدينة جميلة أمريكا، ضرب مدينة جميلة، المغرب كله جميل، المغرب كله سياحي، وكان نحبوا الضيف وكان نرحبوا به.
ما في فكرة، ولكن نحن في حاجة إلى التعرف على هذا.
نقول لهم مرحبا بكم في الدار البيضاء ديالنا، وهذه بلاد تاع المغاربة اللي كيحبوا الأجانب، ومرحبا بكم.
We stopped in to see the editor of the Arabic language newspaper that is part of the largest newspaper in Morocco, newsman Mr. Driss Issawi.
I am the editor-in-chief of a Sahara newspaper, Arabic newspaper, here in Casablanca. I think Casablanca is one of the famous cities in the Mediterranean area, having very rich history, especially in the architecture. If you go through the streets on Casablanca, you can notice you have a mixture in architecture between the Islamic style and European style, and especially the colonial style.
I am a professor at the University of Casablanca. Do you know that Casablanca in 1830, there were only 600 people in Casablanca? And 1 century and a half later, you have almost 5 to 6 million with Greater Casablanca. It's a melting pot. It's a very common word in America, but it's Casablanca in comparison with the other cities in the country. It's really a melting pot because people came from different cities, different areas of Morocco and have settled here, and they have tried to get rid of all the peculiarities of their regions. One area of Casablanca that I'm very proud of is Habous, very traditional neighborhood. You have different smells. You can have smells of food, of cookies, of carpets, of wood, etc. You have a lot of images and a lot of colors also. You have different types of people, different types of behavior. That's Habous. It's a very typical and authentic area of Casablanca.
The Habous is a traditional market that features booksellers, rug dealers, and bakeries. It's a major destination for tourists and sits amidst a number of historical buildings. It's also the site of the olive market. Casablanca features a deep water port and is one of the largest in Africa. Products from rugs to spices go through their docks with destinations around the world. Chicago's docks used to transport food and commodities around the world. In recent years, that's dropped off to mostly steel and coal barges. But those items leave the lakefront and head across the St. Lawrence Seaway out into the Atlantic and around the world.
Well, nowadays, I believe most of our commodities are heavy steel, coils, et cetera, et cetera. They leave here, they go through the Great Lakes system, they go through the St. Lawrence Seaway, they go through a series of locks.
Chicago's Board of Trade is the largest grain exchange in the world. Chances are, if there's food on your table, it was at one time bought and sold through here. Traders buy and sell futures of wheat, corn, soybeans, and other food products for the planet.
My name is Mark Cermak. I'm the president of O'Connor & Company Futures. Several months ago, I had the opportunity to meet Ahmed Karzai, the Afghan president. And in a private meeting, we sat around and talked a little bit. He got a little better understanding of what we were doing and talked a little bit about his marketplace. And it was kind of ironic. The analogy he made was where they transact camels and other animals on a daily place in a central marketplace. I think they also transact wheat, and they have some farm staples. But I mean, the biggest comparison he made was to individual animal trade, which seemed pretty far outside of what we do. But conceptually, he got a grasp on what we were doing, and that's the comparative that he was able to make. I thought it was interesting, and certainly far outside of anything that I would visualize as a marketplace there. But again, conceptually, the same thing.
On a micro level, Morocco has its own markets. While maybe not as large as the Board of Trade, they share similarities. Here in Casablanca on a Sunday, people gather at the rug auction, where they can bid on and purchase a variety of items from rugs to kitchenware. Merchants who haven't been able to get a good price for their rugs bring them here and sell them through an open outcry system, not unlike the open outcry of the Chicago Board of Trade. The amount of money that trades hands might be different, but the actual bargaining that goes on is the same the world over. There is also an international stock exchange in Casablanca known as the Bourse, and they trade stocks for companies around the world. The Casablanca Stock Exchange has been around since the same year that the Chicago Board of Trade building was built in 1929. We interviewed Mr. Omar Katouni from the Casablanca Bourse.
Notre activité au niveau du marché boursier, c'est de pouvoir réaliser des transactions sur des valeurs cotées sur le marché. Donc de pouvoir assurer la rencontre entre les acheteurs et les vendeurs et de générer les transactions sur ces valeurs. Maintenant, ces intervenants, ces investisseurs peuvent être aussi bien marocains qu'étrangers. Donc nous avons des intervenants étrangers d'Europe, des États-Unis, qui peuvent intervenir et investir sur notre place de manière directe.
The major monument, big monument in Casablanca is of course the Hassan II Mosque, the biggest building ever built in Casablanca.
The Mosque of Hassan II is the largest mosque in the world outside the Arabian Peninsula. The roof is retractable and the structure can comfortably fit 25,000 people, while 80,000 can fit in the square outside. Built recently along the Atlantic coast, the mosque has become a major landmark in Casablanca.
You are exactly in the Hassan II Mosque, which can be the third largest mosque after Mecca and Medina, Arabia. The capacity of the hall of the prayers is 25,000 people. And then we can also use the external part, which fits to 80,000 more, which is a total of 105,000. And to information, the mosque has already held the full capacity at many occasions.
When it was built, the John Hancock was the tallest building in the world. Then the World Trade Centers in New York went up. So Chicago built a taller building than those, the Sears Tower. At 114 stories, it's one of the tallest in the world. From the John Hancock, the view of Chicago is breathtaking, even on a cloudy day. Chicago has a diversity of religion from all corners of the earth. There are Christian churches, synagogues, even the Baha'i Temple in Evanston. But what most people don't realize is that there are over 70 mosques in the greater Chicagoland area. The call to prayer rings out in downtown and suburban Chicago, just as it does around the world.
My name is Syed Shahnawaz Khan. We have come a long way when it comes to number of mosques, because when I came, there were literally 1 or 2 mosques. And now there are more than 70 mosques in and around Chicago area. You name a country, and I can show you a couple of Muslims, not the Chicagoans, but Chicagoan Muslims who are here. So it's a great mosaic of various societies from various parts of the world who have settled down in Chicago and are practicing their faith as Muslims.
Muslim community is growing, getting together, and the most important thing is start to be feeling part of this land, of the country, involved in politics and so others.
A number of Moroccans have settled in the Chicago area. We asked them to tell us why they came and what they found when they got here.
My name is Bushaib Kribash. I'm from Morocco and I'm a US citizen. And to live in Chicago is something special, you know, because I accomplished my dream, and my dream is one day to own like a restaurant, you know, and so far I did accomplish that, and I'm very happy.
I'm from Morocco, a small city named Tahala, close to Taza. And I come immigrant to United States with the lottery. Yeah. What I like about Chicago, like I have my job here, and then I like the food. I have my community here, so I'm in touch with my community all the time.
It's totally different experience than, you know, Casablanca or Morocco, because I mean, things are different here. Like when I grew up in Morocco, like for instance, for lunchtime we all get together, we eat from the same plate. So I mean, like you find the father, the mother, the whole family are eating from the same plate. So that like build like bonds between us. And in the other hand, like here, I don't know, you come, everybody has his own plate, and you don't even care. You got your food there. If somebody's not there, his food is on the plate, and you wait for him.
When I got here, I had only one difficulty, which is speaking the language. And basically by socializing with people a lot, it did help me a lot in my life and my career also.
I feel like I have lived in the wrong places in the US. Had I known about Chicago, how beautiful it is, I would have come here straight from Morocco.
Well, like the Moroccan who came here, like their experience, some of them like sometimes they have an office job back home, and they said they want to accomplish their dream, and once they get here, it's different story, you know. It's not what they think, you know. You gotta work. Someone who used to work in the bank, he's gotta start delivering pizza, and delivering pizza wouldn't be enough to pay your bills and that. So here you go, he has to work 2 jobs, and if he have a family here, he has no time for his family. So some of them, I met those people who regret why they left their job and come in here, you know.
I come in from small city in Morocco. The name is the city state one. So I came here for opportunity. One of them, I have the restaurant.
Currently in Chicago, there are a number of restaurants that boast Moroccan cuisine, but there's only one restaurant that features only Moroccan cuisine. The Andalus restaurant, run by owner Haji Mohammed, has a number of original Moroccan dishes cooked by the owner's Moroccan wife. Along with tagine and couscous, he also offers a wide variety of Moroccan delicacies from his native town of Tétouan.
Chicago has everything from good school, good restaurants, good opportunities, good people.
We visited the owner of the Andalus restaurant at home to give us a taste of what it's like for a Moroccan who lives in Chicago.
This is the small kitchen. This is the lady. She's working for me, but it's part of my family. That one, I'm sorry, this is not fish. This is a chicken salad. Now it's time to sit, to eat. That was the chicken yesterday. Today you are having the fish pasta. Fish.
Chicago is also known for its cuisine. Despite having a number of world-renowned restaurants, almost every visitor wants to try out Chicago deep dish pizza. Chicago is also home to a variety of candy manufacturers, from chocolates to confection. And no place embodies the perfect combination of ice cream and fudge syrup than Margie's.
In 1921, my grandfather put this place up. It's a candy and ice cream parlor. It's a diversified store. We sell sandwiches, we sell ice cream, we sell candies, we sell toys. We're an old-fashioned confectionery store. We have Sundays go from English toffee sundaes to homemade chocolate sundaes. No one beats my mother's fudge or caramel or turtle sundae. That's a tough one to beat. Al Capone gave my grandfather this register, if you call him a celebrity.
Bruce Springsteen, Mick Jagger, and the Beatles have all visited this place, which hasn't changed since it opened nearly a century ago. One of Casablanca's most famous landmarks didn't used to exist, Rick's Cafe, as it was known in the film Casablanca. The film not only put Casablanca on the map, it also created a place that visitors who came to Casablanca longed to see. It took an American from Oregon, Kathy Krieger, to open a restaurant that could live up to its name.
What I love about Casablanca is the potential. You have architecture here that is magnificent, just asking to be restored, and areas that are historic that no one has done anything with to develop.
I graduated from college a couple months ago in Chicago. I think what's impressed me is the sort of intimacy among strangers. Just people who live in neighborhoods are all very close, even though they don't know each other, and they'll all sort of, if they're walking in the same direction, they'll sort of talk to each other, and I think there's a real warmth and sort of understanding between people here that I was surprised to find.
As an American, especially as an American woman coming to an Islamic country, albeit Morocco and albeit a country that's not in the Middle East, it can be extremely intimidating, especially for that woman's parents who do not want her to come. But I found being here, although I do get occasionally, you know, I get comments on the street from time to time, but I have encountered some of the nicest people ever that, you know, in this city, and they're incredibly kind and thoughtful and sincere. And I think the sincerity in Morocco is something to be envied.
Located on the edge of the old Medina, Rick's Cafe American has become a destination for many of the city's tourists. Every year during Ramadan, the Islamic faithful fast from any kind of food or water during the day. At sundown, they participate in the meal called iftar, which literally means break fast. There are a variety of foods served, beginning with dates and including pancakes, eggs, and pastries. This is a typical iftar meal, which begins at sundown. We visited a typical food market in downtown Casablanca. People, by and large, shop during their lunch hour for their evening meal. Alongside the fresh fish market, they sell flowers, olives, dates, even turtles. We also visited a typical food market in downtown Chicago. The king, Mohammed VI, appoints a royal governor to oversee the region that Casablanca is in. He's known officially as the Wali. His name is M. Hamad Drif, and his official title is the Wali of the region of Greater Casablanca.
Cette ville a toujours été l'exemple de la cohabitation des religions, de la cohabitation des cultures, de la cohabitation de la façon de vivre et dans le respect absolu des traditions, dans le respect absolu des droits des uns et des autres. Et c'est aussi une grande caractéristique de la ville de Casablanca.
This is a typical flea market where everything is sold from car parts to toilet seats. This one is known as Heya Sani. This is the new Maxwell Street Flea Market, having moved over from nearby Maxwell Street a number of years ago. In the shadow of the Sears Tower, Chicagoans buy and sell everything from fruits and vegetables to CDs and TVs. One of Chicago's greatest legacies is its blues music. Here at Buddy Guy's Blues Club Legends, every night is filled with Chicago blues, played by some of the greatest blues musicians in the world. On this particular night, we found Jimmy Johnson playing with his band. And later, the legend himself, Buddy Guy, joined him on stage. Mrs. Souad Chaki is one of the most famous instrumentalists in Morocco. We asked her to play some of her favorite folk songs on her instrument, the quanoon. Here she is with her husband Ahmed playing with their band at the Royal Mansour Hotel in Casablanca.